Right now at 11, Cathedral Inferno. One of the world's most iconic buildings engulfed in flames.
Oh my God.
Now the rush to save priceless relics and figure out what happened as the world watches Notre Dame burn.
NBC 10 News starts now.
Our first story tonight at 11 is Notre Dame, the historic French cathedral and one of the crown jewels of the Catholic world, just gutted by massive fire. You can see those flames and plumes of smoke lifting into the Parisian sky earlier today. The iconic church, which has stood in Paris for more than 850 years, was partially devoured in a matter of hours. Thank you for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Jim Rosenfield. Heartbreak and disbelief in the City of Lights tonight. Notre Dame Cathedral hit by what's being called colossal damage tonight during the holiest week of the year for more than 1 billion Catholics around the world. And as night turns to day in Paris, here's what we know right now. The cathedral has been saved from complete destruction. The roof and spire collapsed and the fire spread to one of the towers, but the main structure was salvaged. This is being treated as an accident, with investigators already ruling out arson or terrorism. Also tonight, French President Emmanuel Macron is vowing to rebuild the cathedral. And a sign of unity and hope tonight outside the cathedral as hundreds gathered to raise their voices in song right there. The cathedral is seen as a national symbol, and neighbors say this loss is something that goes beyond religion. Here's some perspective now to show you how damaging this fire was. On the left, Notre Dame before the fire, and you can see on the right what happened to various key structures today. We're also getting our first look inside the building. You can see the damage to the altar and the ceilings as crews begin to sift through the rubble tonight. Let's bring in NBC 10's Keith Jones, who's live in our newsroom with how the world is reacting. Keith, you spoke with people from our area who are in Paris right now.
Yeah, Jim, we spoke with a local retired firefighter on the ground, a tour guide from Trenton, and one of our very own photojournalists who just returned a few days ago from visiting the cathedral. Hearts fell with the spire of the 12th century landmark. Tonight, the cathedral glows red, filled with embers. Inside, the once ornate roof has been carved open by flames. You can see the altar, black and singed, and a seemingly untouched gold cross. Far different pictures than those taken by NBC 10 photojournalist Jason Ryan and his wife Meredith, who just returned from Paris.
The priest giving mass, and he's standing under the big famous rose window, right? That's just looks like a million pieces of stained glass.
He took picture after picture, not knowing they'd be used as before shots.
You see all the columns, you see the high ceilings, you'll see with the architectural points where the ceilings come together, and there's artwork all over the place.
Tonight, the mayor of Paris revealed the works of art they managed to save, including a relic believed to be from Jesus Christ's crown of thorns. Still,
there's artwork that's on canvas that you know is gone. You know, if not from the fire, from the water afterwards.
Hundreds of Parisians sang songs watching Notre Dame burn. Retired Bethlehem firefighter Christy Line is there on vacation.
The French people were mostly watching in silence, and I saw a lot of people sobbing.
It's his second trip to see the cathedral. He snapped this picture in 1990 and recreated it this week before fire gutted the 850-year-old monument.
The sirens are still going through the city, and we could see the trucks going through, and we could tell that they were rushing.
13 million people visit Notre Dame every year. Trenton native Gary Kraut gives tours.
Taken hundreds of people there, so I feel that I know it intimately, and it's a part of my existence in Paris.
Kraut believes since the fire, even more tourists will be interested in visiting the 12th century cathedral.
It makes it real, and it makes it present, so it has this even more of an attraction, I have no doubt, even though we won't be able to go inside for quite some time.
And authorities are still looking into the cause of the fire, but some people point to that $6.8 million renovation that was underway outside. Live in the newsroom, Keith Jones, NBC 10 News.
A sad dawn in Paris this morning for everyone there, Keith, and around the world. Thank you. Count on NBC 10 for the latest information and breaking details on this fire. NBC 10 News Today will bring you the latest from Paris starting at 4 a.m. Turning now to the cleanup happening all over the area. People are picking up the pieces after severe storms swept through overnight. You can see the damage here in all 3 states, including a strong tornado that hit Delaware with winds up to 120 miles an hour. Roofs were blown off here in Camden, and trees and power lines toppled over here in South Philadelphia. First Alert meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz is here now. Glenn, a calmer night tonight.
Yeah, it's still windy out there, but not nearly as windy as it was even this afternoon, let alone late last night and early this morning. You see Boathouse Row. Camera kind of shaking a little bit. Things pretty quiet at the shore in Ocean City. This is an offshore wind, so it's not coming in from the ocean. Colder air is moving in from the west. It's down to 43 now in Coatesville and Pottstown, 48 in Philadelphia. It was 71 degrees in Philly just after midnight last night. It's still gusting a bit, 30 miles an hour gust in Philadelphia, 39 in Atlantic City, but this afternoon it was gusting to 52 in Atlantic City. So we are on the way down. The wind was certainly a factor for Philly's game tonight. 48 right now, feeling like 41 with that sustained wind of 21 miles an hour. But that wind will be gradually decreasing as we go into the morning. It's still going to be a bit of a feels like temperature even in the 30s in some areas. Now we wait for the next storm. Looks like it's going to come later in the week. At least an inch of rain in just a few hours. Possible again, warm and windy, and maybe some of those showers lingering into the holiday weekend. More on all of that coming up.
All right, Glenn, we'll see you soon. In the meantime, I want to show you a close call captured on video. A power line came down during the storm, and a helpful lineman had some quick reflexes. Take a look.
Once the line came in contact with the ground, it erupted into a fireball real quick.
That was the voice of a Manchester Township police sergeant who captured this video on his SUV's dash cam. He was parked along Route 70 as a Jersey Central power and light worker tried to free the wire from a traffic light. That wire hit the ground, and you saw it immediately caught fire. Amazingly, the worker was able to jump away from the flames, and he was not hurt. New at 11, pushback against a planned summer calling segregation in Trenton. City leaders and families rallying against the school district's proposal to transfer newcomer students and certain English language learners to a new school called the Global Academy. Members of the Trenton Education Association are calling the campus modern-day segregation and warn they will challenge the school district in state court.
The expertise of our bilingual team and our external consultants is fundamentally, educationally, and morally sound.
I'm up here as an African-American black woman representing your constituents for justice.
Despite the protest, the proposal was approved. The new campus will serve students in grades 9 through 12 starting next school year. Also new tonight, the hunt for a man accused of sexually assaulting a woman in her South Jersey home. Police just released this sketch of the suspect. They say he pulled out a knife, then robbed and sexually assaulted a woman Friday afternoon after knocking on her door. This was on Royden Street in Camden. Investigators say he took money, a toolbox, and a cell phone as well. Follow up to a national story we broke right here on NBC 10 News at 11. The woman at the center of that infamous GoFundMe scandal has accepted a plea deal in the state's case against her. Kate McClure pleaded guilty to theft by deception in a Mount Holly courtroom today. She agreed to testify as well against her 2 co-defendants. McClure and her boyfriend are accused of making up a story about a homeless man who helped her with gas money. Prosecutors say the group raised more than $400,000 from unsuspecting donors. Today, McClure admitted it was all a lie.
Was the gas story false?
Yes.
Did you run out of gas on I-95?
No.
Bobbitt did not spend his last $20, to your knowledge, or any money, that is, to buy you gas. Is that correct?
Correct.
McClure previously pleaded guilty to a federal count of wire fraud conspiracy. She still faces up to 4 years in state prison. Homeless veteran Johnny Bobbitt was sentenced to 5 years probation last week for his role in the scam. McClure's boyfriend, Mark D'Amico, has pleaded not guilty to the state charges. One of the suspects accused of killing 4 young men on a Bucks County farm, fighting to keep his videotaped confession out of the courtroom.
I pulled the gun out. You know, I aimed it in the air, closed my eyes, and fired a shot.
Sean Kratz's recorded statement to police last April may be the single most important piece of evidence against him. The judge will decide tomorrow if some of it will be redacted. Today, we learned the statements of Kratz's cousin, Cosmo DiNardo, cannot be used unless DiNardo himself testifies in person. The 4 victims were found buried on DiNardo's family farm in Solbury Township in 2017. Kratz is charged in 3 of those murders. DiNardo is serving 4 consecutive life sentences in prison after pleading guilty for his role in the killings. An outpouring of support tonight for the family of a local Marine killed during a training exercise earlier this month. Tonight, the body of Major Matthew Wiegand was escorted to a funeral home in Ambler. Police and first responders from across the region came out to Philadelphia International Airport to take part in the procession. Wiegand was a native of Ambler and was one of 2 Marines killed when their helicopter crashed in Arizona. Well, one minute he was buying milk at the register, the next he was unconscious on the floor. Philadelphia police say this is video of the moments before and after a man randomly sucker punched a 70-year-old man at a store in Frankfurt. This happened last Wednesday at DJ's Deli on Winghocking Street. You can see the victim laid out on the floor after the attack. The guy who threw the punch hasn't been caught. It was a family business. Authorities in New Jersey say they've broken up a heroin distribution ring that was being run by a man and his mother. Police say the ringleader, Anthony DiStallo, and his mother, Michelle, are among 9 people who ran the operation in Monmouth County. Michelle DiStallo is still on the run tonight. 23 others are charged with buying drugs from the group. Investigators say that ring moved about 20,000 bags of heroin every month, much of it laced with fentanyl. Police say some of their buyers lived as far away as Ocean County. Very rude awakening for a Burlington County family after an SUV slammed right into their home with 6 people inside. Pictures of the aftermath showed the driver took out the front corner of the home along Buckingham Drive in Willingboro. The homeowner says she was looking out the front window as everything happened right before her eyes.
I saw the car coming, but I thought it was going to stop. In a split second, it just hit the wall.
I walked down, I looked over, and I saw all the, commotion and everything. Then I went down, and they said, holy Christ, car sitting up in the house like that.
Family says the home is structurally unsafe, so they can't live there. Police are still looking into what caused the driver to lose control in the first place. To this, cleaning up a South Jersey neighborhood hit hard with a rash of vandalism. The hunt for answers tonight after homes, mailboxes, and even a police car were targeted. Also, promposal controversy. A message goes viral for all the wrong reasons. The school where leaders took action as soon as they saw the sign.